Folks, thanks for joining us for our 13th broadcast. I hope you enjoyed the Sauvignon Blanc tonight. I know we did. Thanks again for joining us. And I have a few questions here I want to answer for the evening. So let's get started. Our first question comes from Heather Porter. Heather asks, this wine is amazing. Are we able to order it anytime? Well, Heather, during this particular time, if you can't find it at your local retailer, if you're not in Texas, then go ahead and give us a call at the winery. 830-644-2681, extension 230, and talk to the wine club there. They'll be able to hook you up with the wine. And if you are in Texas, go to your favorite retailer, go online, see what you can do. You can go online at our website as well, and we'll help you out.
I would also like to share with that this is limited now. We are now one full vintage behind. If you want it, grab it now.
Exactly. And also, if you find it in the retail shop, buy it now. The winery, the retail is going to be $40 a bottle. So our next question comes from Larissa. Larissa asks, what was the idea behind the label? That's a great question. You see that? I know you're probably not familiar with this if you're not from Texas, but it is Yellow Rose. So Yellow Rose of Texas, please don't clap. No. But that's basically it. The Yellow Rose of Texas. It's a star, and it is a Tony Bell painting. So if you want to look at some of our other labels online, go to our website. You'll see a whole host of those beautiful paintings. So Rachel, what do you think of the Yellow Rose of Texas?
Well, as a Texan, you know that I love it dearly. On the back of the label, it is written on the back of the label that this is a dozen yellow roses that Tony Bell had given to his wife Claire on one of their anniversaries. So it's a painting that he did of the roses that he gave to her.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I never got to meet Tony Bell in person, but his wife was something else. So our next question comes from Trish. Trish asks, do you sulfite or let it oxidize prior to fermentation? So I'm not quite sure how to answer that question, Trish, but I will tell you that we do use sulfur in the winery on the grapes. We use a low amount of it. Rachel, you're supposed to not have your face hooked. We're not making biodynamic wine. We're actually using science. Was that a little catty?
Recorded.
It is recorded. So Trish, we do use sulfites in the wine. We use a very low amount of them. We do let the wine splash a little bit when we press, but I do use a little bit of sulfur in the wine to take care of the oxygen. Sulfur is an antioxidant. It does not necessarily kill all the bad bacteria and things. We leave that up to Mother Nature, and the fact that after fermentation, the alcohol in the wine actually acts as a preservative as well as a carrier agent for some of the flavors. So I hope that helps. If it doesn't, please write again. We'll try to answer a more detailed question there. Do you have anything to add about the sulfur?
No, I would actually, I think that what you said was pretty right on. We do actually use sulfur as an antimicrobial agent. As we discussed earlier, the grapes come in and they're traveling for a very long time. So there's lots of opportunities for things to start fermenting that we don't necessarily want to ferment. So it's a part of our control mitigation that we do use a little bit of sulfur early on, so that we can choose what we do for grapes.
We should also mention too, to get away from that sulfur use, we actually started using that, I cannot remember the brand name now, but it's just a bacteria that we use to outcompete those wild yeasts and those little beasties that exist in Mother Nature. And it seems to have done a really nice job. So we had a very good experiment with it this last couple of years. So we're going to be using that fully through our program in order to reduce the amount of sulfur that we use on the grapes prior to fermentation. So our next question comes from Diane, and she asks, is the grape white? I should ask skin white versus red. Yes, Diane, the skin is considered a white grape, even though, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it's more green tinted than white or clear. But Sauvignon Blanc is definitely considered a white grape. So we do not want to keep it in contact with the skin for very long. though there has been some great successes with folks making skin contact white wines. They're out there. Usually look for the demarcation orange wine, or long exposure or skin contact white. Any of those will give you a roundup of some of the white wines made with longer skin contact. We prefer less skin contact, and that is a stylistic choice. Anything to add there, Rachel?
No, I think that was spot on.
Okay. So everybody at home, I got one answer right tonight. So okay, so our final question comes from Billy. Billy asks, is 62 degrees Fahrenheit okay for aging the Sauvignon Blanc? I have mostly red in my wine room and keep it at that temp. Thanks for these tastings. They are awesome. I just threw that in. No, actually, Billy did write that. So Billy, yeah, 62, as long as it's a constant temperature, I don't find anything wrong with that. I would say if you have the ability to keep that wine room a few degrees cooler, it would be great for both. We store our wines, red or white, at the same temperature once bottled. So they both do well in a cooler environment. If you want them 62, not a problem. I tell people that at 62 versus 55, they'll be fine as long as the temperature is constant, but they will age a little more rapidly than ones kept a few degrees cooler. That will not make a big difference until about year 8 or 10. So you're fine. I think you're fine on that. Okay, so Rachel, any final words of wisdom on the Sauvignon Blanc for the folks at home for our Q&A?
I don't have any wisdom to add to this.
I think you have tons, personally. So lift your glass. Let's toast everybody at home, and we look forward to Wednesday. So cheers, Rachel. Have a good night.
Enjoy.